goes like midway.
Okay.
We ready?
We're getting underway here. The very first match in the inaugural Pickleball-Global Challenge Cup.
Some of the world's finest pickleball players are in Bonita Springs, Florida this weekend for the inaugural Pickleball-Global Challenge Cup. Players like Tyson McGovern, Aspen Kern, Irina Tereshchenko, and Kyle-Yates will be on the courts this weekend. Exciting action coming up right here on pickleball.global. Hello again, everyone. I'm Drew Wathy, and working alongside me for this exciting Challenge Cup. And our first match will be Morgan Evans, a great player in his own right. Morgan, thanks so much for stopping by today.
No problem, Drew.
And we got a good one right off the bat. Two of the finest players, Kyle-Yates from nearby. He's a Floridian, going up against Christine-mcgrath and her partner, Tony Phalanges. Kyle playing with Abbie-David, who is the daughter of the founder of Pickleball-Global, Jan-David.
Jan has been kind enough to put on this fabulous event. Hoping in his honor, Abbie's going to do well here. Kyle serving at 2-0-1.
And that sails long. This is going to be a unique format. This is going to be a running time, a 20-minute match. And right now it's 2-0 is the score. And with Kyle serving. Kyle, interesting background. University of Florida for the Gators was a table tennis club champion at Florida. So a lot of the players, Morgan, really come from different backgrounds. A lot come from tennis. A lot come from ping pong. Some come from badminton. The gentleman on this side of the court, the near side of the court, Tony Phalanges, a golfer and also a rugby player. So they come from every unique sport.
I'm sure he's got a lot of mental toughness from that rugby background. And he's a lefty. That presents a lot of difficulties for players.
McGrath serving now. Score is 2-1. Kyle a little bit under the weather. We talked to his mom earlier today and had a rough night, a little bit of a rough morning, but the great competitor that he is out on the court here at the International Tennis and U.S. facility in Bonita Springs, Florida.
Yeah, he's the kind of competitor that rain or shine, he's going to get out there and try his best, and his 50% is often still enough to get the job done. This is an interesting matchup here. Abbie with the cross-court backhand dink, and Tony using the forehand.
And then you'll hear that term a lot this weekend, dinking. So Morgan, why don't you briefly explain what dinking is in the sport of pickleball?
Yeah, dinking really is the backbone of the sport. Given the rules regarding the kitchen, whereby you're unable to play volleys inside the kitchen, it's an incredibly important skill to be able to play soft shots that land delicately inside the kitchen to avoid your opponents hitting aggressive volleys, especially.
And the kitchen, the kitchen on the court there is that kind of that magenta, pinkish colored area of the court, the blue and the pink. It's a 7 foot on either side from the net. Pickleball court literally is 20 feet by 44 feet in length. You can fit 4 pickleball courts on one regulation-sized tennis court. And you'll see that in a lot of communities around this country right now. The sport of pickleball is really exploding. And a lot of unused tennis courts are being transformed into dedicated pickleball courts.
They say every time a pickleball court is built, a 5-0 gets his wings.
George Bailey will like that one. Score is 4-2. Tony Phalanges, Christine-mcgrath going up against Abbie-David and Kyle-Yates.
Yeah.
Great opening action in this inaugural Pickleball Global Challenge Cup, and David splitting the defense on that return.
Referee Ed Johnson is kind enough to help us out with proceedings.
It's now 5-2 with Abbie-David serving. Abbie, a full-time student at Hodges University, which is local right here in Bonita Springs. And like so many pickleball players, Christine-mcgrath with a very impressive tennis background.
Oh. She had all the right moves there. Everything into that last shot. Fantastic play from both players.
2-5-1.
One of the players that we may see later on this weekend, Simone Jardine, former tennis coach at Michigan State as well as Fresno State. Oh, there's a great try by Phalanges.
He tried to switch hands on the run there. That's a difficult play.
Phalanges serving down 5-2, 2-5.
Ooh, that ball looked close.
That's going to sail deep. So now it's 3-5. Clock running. We're down to 15:40 in this 20-minute opening match for the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup here at Bonita Springs.
I think Christine and Tony would do well to start stacking to keep the left-handed player on the right side. That gives both players forehands in the middle, creating a good zone of power where your opponents are likely going to want to attack.
Good point. And just like in tennis, you don't find many left-handed players in pickleball, do you?
Yeah, there's not a huge amount, but when they're there, they do well. They cause a lot of timing issues. The typical players out there, they're reading body language, and it's just that much more difficult to read the left-handed shots than right-handed. Left-handers, funny enough, actually have an advantage in reaction times. They are statistically a little bit quicker than right-handed players.
Second serve.
And they are the bane of my existence.
Morgan's considered the sport's first ever professional tour pickleball coach, the tennis and pickleball instructor out at Shadow Mountain Resort in Palm Desert, California. I wanted to get your reaction, Morgan. The announcement earlier this year of the United States Pickleball Association having their national championships, moving from a small facility in Arizona in in Queen Creek, Palm Creek Golf and RV Resort, and now they're going to head over to the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, which has the BNP Paribas tennis tournament. So a beautiful facility. What's your initial reaction to that move?
Look, we're very excited to have the tournament there. It is my favorite tournament of the year, and there's likely going to be at least 1,500 or so players descending upon the desert, and it's the kind of facility that can hold that many and many more. Obviously, given its long-running tennis tournament history. It's just a stone throw away from my house, which is fantastic. So I feel like the locals will have a nice little home court advantage. Myself and Mr. Marcin Rospetsky will be looking to do well there. We're playing with different partners this year, but look, it's great for the sport of pickleball. Oh, just as I say that, we've got an around the post.
Nice get by Kyle-Yates there.
Yeah.
5-8-1.
Tony Phalanges serving now down 5-8.
And there's 13 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to make a comeback.
Well, they're scratching back now, down by 2.
Okay.
That was a great tennis tournament this year with the BNP Paribas. Federer losing in the finals to Juan Martín del Potro, who's making a comeback now. He's playing very, very well. Healthy again.
It's amazing to see some of these older players still doing well and actually finding a new level later in their careers.
6-8-2.
But I'm pretty sure within a couple of years, I'll all be playing pickleball. I wouldn't want to come up against Juan Martín up at the net.
I think with his wingspan, he'd cover the entire kitchen from side to side.
Very
Beautiful
nice
shot around the net.
Christine has one of the better forehand dinks and volleys in the women's game.
A point away from tying this match up. And this is the art of dinking at its best right here.
It's mesmerizing, really. It's like you're watching a metronome. But Abbie...
Side out. Abbie will serve now. Up 8-7. Just a little over 11 minutes. Kyle's serving. A little over 11 minutes to go in this first match of the inaugural Pickleball Global Challenge Cup here in Bonita Springs, Florida.
That's fantastic play from Abbie. I like the way she moves forward, inches forward, doing split steps along the way, keeping herself low and balanced, able to pull the trigger there on a nice high ball. Kyle scurries across the kitchen line better than anybody else.
He does have quick feet.
Yeah. On the tour, his nickname is Peter Pan.
9-7-2.
He started playing a lot of soccer. And your pupil, Tyson McGuffin, wrestling.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
oh,
Tyson,
just inside the baseline. Great shot.
You never know which sporting background is really going to give you an edge. But mental toughness, I feel, wrestling is a fantastic
Yeah, absolutely.
discipline to get into.
And McGuffin's dad was a wrestling coach.
Side out.
10-7 the score now. Phalanges with the serve.
17-1.
Good crowd on hand here.
Yeah,
The
it's really
International U.S. and Tennis Facility in Bonita Springs. Seating that can probably handle about 300, and we have probably about a couple of hundred people here right now.
Point. Time. Switch sides. Time. Referee time. You got 1 minute to switch sides.
All right.
We're not going to stop the clock.
we
Clock
have
is going to be running, and the
a switch
teams
of
will be
ends.
switching ends. So there's no unfair advantage with the lighting. There's no sun to really worry about on this indoor facility. Beautiful facility.
Although later on when I'm playing, I'm sure I will be complaining about the wind.
That's if they keep the front doors open for you.
Hopefully. That'd be nice.
All right,
So
the score is
like-
10-8, 9-29 with the clock running. Phalanges to the serve.
8-1.
Oh, sneaky return.
Oh, nice get by Tony.
I feel like that might have been 2 bounces. And it was
And I
indeed
think
2
that's what
bounces.
he's saying. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
So Christine-mcgrath serving now to Kyle-Yates at 8-10-2.
Have to really show a lot of patience during the art of thinking, don't you?
You really do. It can be a real game of chess, this crazy pickleball game,
10-8-1.
but only if you can really embrace the art of dinking.
Point.
Yates-David tandem back up to a 3-point lead now, leading 11-8. Great exchange.
Ah, look at that.
Point of the match so far. Builds a 4-point lead now for Yates and David.
I'm impressed with the improvements in Abbie's game. Fantastic footwork, hand speed is there.
Wow, nice.
Oh, she came to play.
Point.
Can't let Dad down.
Well, I think for the kind of prize money that's available here, they want to keep that money in the family.
13-8-1.
Oh, he's used the net well. And again.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Point.
For all those at home, if you can really master the art of
14-8-1.
getting it just to clip the top of the net, then you'll certainly have a huge advantage, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you look at that left hand pushing back to counterbalance, keeping herself nice and stable on those backhand dinks. It's a free lesson for anyone at home.
5 unanswered points for the tandem of David and Yates, and they're up 15-8, and there's a side out now. Nice put away by Christine.
Second service.
David to serve now.
15-8-2.
Oh,
Sails wide.
Side up.
when it rains, it pours.
8-15-1.
What about the future of the sport, Morgan? You know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, potential possibilities. That one sails wide off the racket of, or off the paddle of David. But this has Olympic aspirations. What are your feelings on that? Could this pickleball become an Olympic sport down the road?
I think certainly. it's got potential. The sky's the limit, really, with this sport. We need, obviously, a huge number of countries to have a governing body and a reasonable amount of capital to support an Olympic side. I'd love to see it happen in the next 10 years or so. It's probably my best chance to play for Australia in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Another great shot by Abbie-David, splitting the defense on that one.
Yeah. In mixed doubles, the women see so much of the ball that often it comes down to a battle between the girls, who can get the better of the dinking rallies, who can see that first ball and take a chance to attack, while the gentlemen sit idly by and wait for their chance to shine.
The clock is running here on our opening match on the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup, down to 5:20. Kyle-Yates, Abbie-David, 15-10 over Tony Phalanges and Christine-McGrath.
That's a risky move there from Abbie-David. It's well known that Christine really sits on that backhand and trying to get through the middle there. She's usually locked and loaded, ready and waiting. Oh, little miscommunication.
Looks like Kyle was expecting Abbie to take that.
Yeah, we call that the divorce ball. No one really knows who gets it.
11-15-1.
Nice overhead by
Nice.
Abbie. Playing well in front of the home crowd.
11-15-2.
Beautiful.
Coming up after this match will be the tandem of Aspen Kern and Lucy Kitcher going up against Arina Tereshchenko and Frank Forgeot, another local product.
That's going to be a barn burner.
Tereshchenko's one of the true
Beautiful.
women stars in this game.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be practicing with her the last few days.
16-11-1.
She's got a fantastic wingspan, great mental toughness, and just a superb athlete. Oh,
Point.
Played well in the USAPA Nationals in November. Had a great match with Lucy Kovalova back down there. And Tereshchenko is going to be one to be reckoned with for many years to come.
I think so. Oh,
Second serve.
just sliding off the paddle, sailing a little bit long. We've got a second server, Kyle-Yates,
17-11-2.
17-11, serving to Christine-McGrath. Just over 3 minutes on the clock. Great touch.
Great footwork by Abbie, though. She's got long legs and can
Yeah.
really stretch them.
Yeah, a great frame for pickleball. Really able to move quickly. You can see a lot of attention giving to tennis players coming in that are, 6 foot, 6'1", 2.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys now in the 6'6", 6'7" region. And while they do have some advantages on the court, you can't forget the kind of advantages that the players such as Abbie-David and Kyle-Yates have.
11-18-1.
Foot speed being primary, and how much that really helps your dink game. They may not have the same reach as the Marcin Rospetskis or the Jeff Warnicks of the game, but they more than make up for it in foot speed, hand speed, and agility around the court.
Coming up on 2 minutes left in this opening match, 18-12. David and Yates in the lead.
Second serve.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order now to come back from 12-18, but stranger things have happened. The lefty switch.
Yeah, Kyle's doing his famous Pancho Segura move, going righty and lefty when he wants.
Side on. 18-12-1.
Oh,
Second serve.
sometimes when you need to be a hero, it's not always the play.
It's going to sail wide.
Great attack there from Abbie.
6-point lead for David and Yates. Coming up to 1 minute left in this opening match. Oh, nice put
That's
away.
a little high.
Hope to speak with Jan-David, the founder of Pickleball Global, hopefully between matches here, and get his take on the origin of the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup. Great opportunity to get a host of great players together in one setting. Just one stadium court indoors here. A great concept.
Yeah, it's the first of its kind, and I know Team Selkirk, we couldn't be more pleased to be part of it. We've got together a nice ragtag bunch of misfits, and we're hoping to do well.
Team Selkirk against Team Paddletech, two of the major paddle manufacturers in the United States. Great shot by
A lefty
Kyle-Yates.
switch around the post. Even sick, he can pull off some magic.
2012, this will be the last point of the match, down to 5 remaining seconds on this opening match. Oh, and that's it.
Right
Kyle-Yates, abbie-david, winners over Tony Phalanges and Christine-mcgrath, 20-12. And we'll be back with more action here in Bonita Springs, Florida in the inaugural Pickleball Global Challenge Cup.
Welcome to Tennis and Pickleball US, your family-owned tennis and pickleball superstore. We offer a wide variety of tennis and pickleball goods, including tennis rackets, paddles, apparel, and equipment. Come see us in beautiful Bonita Springs, Florida.